Yavalata, Deonangai Velata, and Radio Bula Duavata. Veitalanoa te kina na vika me baleta na nondon bula. Mai vei ira na kanandao mai na tambana ni bula so. Nasi na puni wai. Rangove na bana kaloka na vei kabini tu city and na veitokoni ni Lincoln Heritage Life Insurance. Na kambani ni Life Insurance kanganiti kianda na kaiwiti Amerika.
Bidang sabo lebu turun kena marama darbo kena manele untuk bawa bina kena kabin bina kerap ini tai untuk bawa bina kata langgabe Lincoln Life Insurance na bukan naruto veitokoni ciko naruto program ubaga madawa untuk teka bunuh ciko bekenta na veitu sici registered nurse Bals Rose ya na kabin kani ku untuk bawa bina ka ni ciko bataki kenta Mr. Richard So ku na Executive Director of San Francisco Hepatitis B Free bakal lagi na be Lina Teo Malia Tulua. I hope that is correct this afternoon. Lena Malia Tulua, maramani samongo talofa. Nita gini totoko cukup na veitokoni batiki kimani. Enta sana tiga bulan nonton veitalanoa. Enta sana veitalanoa mantapa pertandi ane kabinandi kuah. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you, Mr. Richard So, and of course Miss Lena Teo Malia Tulua. To Radio Bula Duavata. Thank you so much for availing yourselves. And of course, we are here to talk about hepatitis B. Back in the islands, when you mention, even before we go straight proper to our topic this afternoon, Mr. Richard, so can you just start off? Can you? It is usually women's first, or ladies first, or girls first. Now we'll start with Mr. Richard. So because me and Lena, we are from the same Pacific group, so we'll start with you, Richard. So can you just briefly explain about yourself to the viewers of Radio Bula Duavata so that we can know you briefly before we continue with our topic this afternoon, sir?
Absolutely. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, of course, 100%.
Great. Great. My name is Richard So. I'm the executive director of SF Hep B Free. It's my full-time job to work on this awareness. And I am Chinese American, but for a long time have worked in the community, giving back to the Asian American and Pacific Islander community. And in this case, and particularly about a disease that affects our people kind of in a very dire way. And so my background is in public health. I've worked in public health for about 10 years, including international work as a healthcare consultant, and of course, in the Asian American community. I've led this organization for about 3 years, and Lena is my awesome colleague and coworker here. And I'm really excited to be able to talk to your community and your audience about this disease that's really, unfortunately, silently killing a lot of people without people even knowing that it is very preventative.
Thank you, Richard. Lena, a brief introduction about yourself.
Sure. Talofa lava and bula.
Talofa, bula.
So I am Lena Te'omalia Itulua, and I just started working with Richard July of last year, and I'm the program associate over here at San Francisco Hep B Free. And so my background is in education, specifically in Pacific Islander education. And so what I do is I support Richard in the work, raising awareness about hepatitis B in the Pacific Islander community. And I am the Pacific Islander community liaison, where we create programs that we believe would attract our community to want to learn and engage about hepatitis B. And so my goal here is to work with Richard to make Pacific Islander communities in the San Francisco Bay Area, to be a hepatitis B free community.
Thank you very much to you to this afternoon. Okay, we'll jump straight to hepatitis B. If you just kind of meet a person on the roadside and you say, "I have hepatitis B," when someone has a headache, they will say, "Oh, emotional lung in Fijian. I have a headache. Oh, okay, we'll give you Panadol or Tylenol." We relate to it so easily. What about hepatitis B? Can you just simplify to us, the audience of Radio Bula Duavata, so that when someone asks me what is hepatitis B, I can just like explain it to him or her in a very simple way. What is it? What is hepatitis B? I think it was Richard, yes.
Great question. And that's why most people haven't heard of it, because it's hard to do that. Unfortunately, I guess if I'm simplifying it down to just a couple sentences, hepatitis B is a virus that infects your liver, and it is almost always passed on in the Asian and Pacific Island community from mother to child transmission during birth, when the mom does not know she has it. And so when she gives birth, she spreads that to her 3 or 4 children. And the reason why she spreads it not knowing it is because, unlike most diseases, most people don't feel sick at all. If I were to look at you, Una, you might have hepatitis B and not know it at all. Lena might have hepatitis B, not know it at all. I might have hepatitis B, not know it at all, because it slowly destroys your liver until your 50s and 60s, in which case it turns into liver cancer, and then you would feel sick. And then by that time, it's too late. So you don't feel sick or look sick when you have hepatitis B, and that's why people have to be tested for it.
Thank you so much. So from what age should we start to go for this kind of test that you're saying? Like, I could have it, the transmission from mom to me. I have it since birth. So what age are you looking at for me to go and to the hospital and get started with this test?
Yes. So the CDC, actually, the Centers for Disease Control, 2 weeks ago officially made the new recommendation that everyone as an adult should be tested once. And that way, So the truth is, by the time you're 18, you should check and make sure you don't have the disease, because the earlier you catch it, the better chance of living a full, healthy life with the disease. Because if you manage it with a doctor, most people, we're talking more than 80%, will live full, healthy lives as long as they're managing it with their doctor. And so we suggest you go as soon as you hear this radio presentation, just schedule it with your doctor. The test is free because it's a preventative care test. And then once if you don't have it, you can get the vaccine, which protects you for life, so you never have to worry about it again. And if you do have it, you just manage it with your doctor, which is just 2 visits a year, where your doctor checks your liver health. He does some tests on your blood, and it just says, your liver looks good, come back in 6 months. And for more than 50% of people, that's it. For their whole life, they just see their doctor twice a year instead of once a year, and their doctor says, your liver looks okay? Cool. See you next time. And then for the other half, sometime during their life, the doctor will say, okay, your liver looks a little bit unhealthy. We're going to start you on this pill that you take once a day. You do take it for the rest of your life. But then, like I said, 90% of the people taking that pill never get liver cancer. So it's like a totally normal life, like how when you get older, you might take cholesterol medicine.
Thank you very much, Richard. Okay, your turn, Lena. While growing up as a kid, till the adolescence, the adolescent age, growing up to be a fully fledged adult, what are some symptoms of this hepatitis B?
Sure. And so, you know what? I forgot. I didn't quite hear your name.
My name is Tupe. Just call me Tupe.
Okay,
yes, Tupe.
We're looking at your name as Una's name, but
okay.
I just wanted to address you correctly. So thank you, Tupe, for that question. So there are no symptoms.
No symptoms.
There are no symptoms. There is no pain, and that's why a lot of people, when they catch hepatitis B, they have no idea what to look for, because if it stays in your liver for such a long time and you don't know to check for it, you don't ask the doctor, that you don't go report to the doctor that you have any pain, it can turn into cirrhosis of the liver or liver cancer, or serious liver disease, and you won't feel the pain until you have serious liver issues. So, which is very important, why we need to hurry up and go ask our doctor for that free hepatitis B test or come and ask us.
Nasa boleh bagi penenturan marama dar bukin on lew sipti weekend na pa ni tin katolo minute ki bawon sangi sama chuma Yavalata de na Calata rono do bulangi chiko read so ke lina teo male itulua don marama ni Samoa ro veitalanoa chiko go ro vingrabo chiko na San Francisco hepatitis B free. Also ke bukila ni kuwa today marks the day that I am beginning to know what is hepatitis B. So hepatitis B has something to do with our liver. So it's a virus that is usually passed from mom to child from birth. So it is one of the silent killers, if I may say. If you're not tested, you would never ever know this, because you two are saying there is no symptoms, you cannot feel any pain until you have a serious liver issue. And of course, that liver issue will only be known if you go to the hospital.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, you have such great memory, great way to summarize it. And that is the case. You know, when other people think of liver problem or alcoholics, they turn yellow or they're very tired. And that only happens in, I think, 1 to 5% of the cases. Like I said, the most common patient is someone who lives a full, healthy life, an uncle or aunt who feels totally fine. And then when they turn, 45, 50 or 55, 60, their stomach hurts and they say, oh, maybe I have a kidney stone or indigestion, heartburn, but it really hurts. So I go to the doctor and then the doctor says, you have late stage liver cancer, you have less than a year to live. And people are just, shocked. Like, how could it be? I felt fine yesterday, and now you're telling me I have 1 year left to live. And that's what's so sad. And so we need to stop that. And we can so easily do that because all you have to do is ask your doctor for this free test.
Okay. We'll quote you on that. You say, if I feel some kind of sensation in my stomach and I go to the hospital and the doctor says to me, I have a very serious liver problem and I only have 1 year to live. Is there a cure so that 1 year, a zero can be added to that?
Yeah, sadly, hepatitis B doesn't have a cure, and liver cancer itself is really, really aggressive, and so the survival rate is really low. But the bright side is that before it's liver cancer, there's so much opportunity for it to not become liver cancer if you manage it with your doctor. Again, the healthy survival rate, if it hasn't become liver cancer, is more than 80 to 90%. So you have this big kind of flip-flop, this big marker. If you can catch it early, then you're gonna mostly live a full, healthy life. We can stop it in its tracks. And there's a vaccine. So if you don't have the disease and you get vaccinated, you'll be protected for all of your life. But if you don't take that easy 5-minute step, that 5-minute phone call for your doctor, then you could be one of these unlucky people who gets this liver cancer. There is no cure.
Okay, we basically know, this is for you, Lina, that the liver function, it detoxes your body. It breaks down all these fatty acids, the alcohol, all the other hormones associated with it. Like, can we take pills even before going to a doctor? Or the doctor will just prescribe you with any over-the-counter medicine, or there's just antibiotics for it, or any medicine that you can keep on taking it to kind of cure it naturally?
So you're asking me if there's a cure and if I could take medicine?
Yes.
Okay, so there are no medications to cure hepatitis B, except for hepatitis B medicine.
So hepatitis B
I
medicine.
think I'll let Richard go ahead and Richard, could you help me out on this question?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Absolutely. So, as Lena said, there's no curative medicine. There is only medicine that keeps the hepatitis B virus in check when you have that virus. That's that pill a day you can take if your doctor recommends it. But no matter what, because it doesn't cure the hepatitis B, you have to take that pill every day. It's very similar in that sense to cholesterol medicine. The cholesterol medicine keeps your cholesterol in check, but it doesn't get rid of that problem.
So you're saying, let me interject here for a while. So you're saying, Mr. Richard, so if the doctor tells me I have only 1 year to live, so no matter the amount of medicine, hepatitis B medicine I take, that 1 year stays.
So, sorry, to be clear, once you have liver cancer, then that is when you have 1 year left. And once it's cancer, they try to operate, they try to do chemotherapy, they try to do liver transplants, but all of that is, very invasive, very scary, expensive, and the success rate is pretty low. But before it becomes cancer, that's when you can take the hepatitis B medicine to prevent the cancer from forming. So again, you can think of it as a timeline. There's this mark where it is the hepatitis B virus, and the hepatitis B virus damages your liver so that it becomes cancer. And so once it hits that point and becomes cancer, then that is when you're really sadly out of luck, because it's really hard to beat cancer. But up until that point, you can fight the hepatitis B virus, and the medication fights the virus, but not the cancer. I know it's a little complex.
Thank you very much, Richard. On paper, who's the youngest to be recorded having this hepatitis B fully blown?
Yeah. So again, if you could be, if your parents give it to you, you would have it at birth, and so you would have the virus at birth. But the youngest people who have been really unlucky to die from liver cancer caused by hepatitis B, in my mind, there's a story. I think he was a 23 or 24-year-old immigrant from India, actually, who was here at Stanford, or in the Stanford Palo Alto area, as a student and a college student, and he found out he had some pain and had liver cancer, and they said, "How are you so young? How could you have the liver cancer?" And it was from hepatitis B. But normally the cancer forms when people are around 50 or 60-year old. But the virus itself is transmitted at birth. So, for those people who were born to parents who have the hepatitis B, they have the virus at birth.
Thank you very much, Richard. Okay, going to you, Lina. In our Pacific community, how many percent, here in America, since you've been doing all these researches and all about hepatitis B for Pacific Islanders, how frequent does this pops up in all of our community here in America?
Well, in our community, Tupe, it's almost zero to none. Nobody ever in our community says, "Oh, I want a hepatitis B presentation. I want you to come and teach me about it." They don't ask for this education because they don't know that it's out there. So unless people know about it, then we can come out and share that information with you. But we have come up with some programs that is helping our community become aware of hepatitis B, and those community education workshops that we put on help us to put our culture together with medical practices to help us be more to have more information on hepatitis B.
Thank you very much, Linda. Do you think, Richard, that your awareness is creating um, awareness to people to come for testing, or have you done a research and or when I have a stomach pain, then I come to the hospital? Is the awareness working? Hepatitis B awareness. I'm generally speaking here.
Yes, that's a great question. So sadly, it's hard to know how many people hear this radio program and go, you know what, I'm actually going to go and get tested. How would we measure that? We do know that the testing we do in the community, we do a couple hundred tests, sometimes 1,000 tests per year in the Bay Area itself. We run commercials on radio and newspaper, and we work with a lot of clinics that are offering that free screening. But as you might know, many Asian cultures and Pacific Islander cultures, if I'm not dying, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not
Yes.
visiting my doctor. You know, I'm strong, I am macho, and that's too bad because, you know, if they want to stay strong and macho, let's do this 5-minute test. And so that's exactly why we're here, why we're so happy to be able to speak to you, so that they can hear trusted people like hosts say, like of radio programs say, hey guys, let's not be silly here. Do you want to die from liver cancer because you got unlucky and have this virus in your body? No. So let's, you know, make sure we live all the way to see our children grow up and be there for our families, and just get this silly free test. There's no barrier now that it's free. And I think for your question earlier, talking about how many people might have this, the data shows that 1 in 12 Asian and Pacific Islander people in the United States has this hepatitis B. 1 in 12. And you know the difference between that and the white folk? It's 1 in 1,000. That's why nobody's talking about it. 1 in 1,000 versus 1 in 12. And I actually, for this presentation, looked up some statistics for different Pacific Islands. And in 2019, the rates for hepatitis B were around 6% in America, American Samoa, around 6% for Samoa, around 5% for Tonga, around 7% for the Solomon Islands, 5% for Marshall Islands, and 4% for Fiji. And that's already low because this was in 2019, but in 2000, the data came out and the percentage was around 10 to 15% in those countries. So, you know, we're talking 1 in 10, 1 in 9 people. And the reason why it's gotten so much better is in the 2000s, the World Health Organization went to all these countries and said, let's start testing pregnant moms and vaccinating babies so that the pregnant moms don't give the disease to their kids. And just those campaigns within those 20 years, 2000 to now, changed the rate from 10, 15% to now the 6%, because so many moms stopped transmitting it to their babies because their babies were being vaccinated. But, you know, all the people who were born before 2000, you know, people like you and me who emigrate here to the United States, you know, all those people are still have much higher rates of the disease. Yeah.
Which brings me to one question. Is there any international lobby group that's lobbying for what you just said, for every single pregnant mom now, regardless, to be vaccinated, so we kind of stop it right from the root, from passing from mom to the baby? Any talk on that on the international stage now?
Hey, you could be a public health advocate too. You could do my job. You're exactly right. So in most Asian countries and countries where this disease is prevalent, the World Health Organization has said the standard of care should be to test every pregnant mom. And actually here in the United States, the rule is to test every pregnant mom for hepatitis B. And if the mom has it, they immediately give the infant that vaccine at birth and start the mom on treatment. And that's why now, since about 1995 in the United States,
it's
the
compulsory.
Transmission rate, and the transmission rate of the whole United States is something like 0.8 of 1%. So This
Oh,
is
wow.
really a disease of immigrants. So
Yes.
we've done a really good job of catching it, the transmission now, except for people who give birth at home and give birth outside of a hospital system. And so that's pretty good as long as the healthcare system in America, wherever you are, is good. But we still are working on it in the world. So in places like the Pacific Islands and all the Micronesia,
Hmm.
it's still tough, for those who live far away from a hospital. They may not have the resources to go to the hospital to give birth, so the vaccine might not be there. Some people don't believe in vaccines, and so
Hmm.
there's that misinformation. And so, yes, just as you said, the standard in the world is supposed to be that, but it's hard to do in some places where healthcare isn't accessible to everybody.
Thank you very much, Lina. Okay, we'll ask, I'm sorry, Richard. Lina, I think we have a couple of minutes left. We can always extend since we are talking on a very important topic here, hepatitis B, on Radio Bula Duavata. We are so blessed to have you on board this afternoon. Okay, you two have been saying, okay, you can just come in straight after this, go to a healthcare provider, any hospital, get a test, hepatitis B test. What is a test like? Basically, if I walk into the hospital, will they take some of a sample of my saliva, urine, or how do they do the test?
Sure. So the test is very simple. It's just a blood draw. You're just going to walk in, say that you need, your doctor will tell you to go and get a test. You go into the lab and they'll give you a hepatitis B test by just taking your blood. And then
Just
the
a blood
results
draw.
will be mailed to you.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
just a blood draw. Very quickly. And we can provide that. If you don't want to go to the doctor, or to the lab, and if you're comfortable in your own community, in your own area, Richard and I will come with the phlebotomist for free and come and screen you. That way you can get your blood drawn right there while we educate you. And then the results will come straight to your house. And then you take the results to your doctor and say, I either need a vaccination or,
Medication?
I need some other medication or what. So, like I say, people in our Pacific Islander community, sometimes, like Richard said, we don't go until our bones are popping out of our head. But these simple moves of just reaching out to your community resource, like to us, to Una, saying, hey, call your friend so they could come to our church or to our community and we'll bring the screener. And another thing, I kind of misunderstood your question earlier about the data. And Richard shared that 1 in 12 Pacific Islanders and
Yes.
Asians have hepatitis B. But, I know there's more of us that have it. We just haven't been tested. And I feel like in our community, Tupe, there's no data, for anybody else to understand what this disease is doing to our families and to our communities. There's nobody to go out and get this data so we can report and get the kind of information and the help and resources to specifically work in the PI community. So, it's important for you guys to reach out to us and we'll come over there and get the data for you.
And I think, Lena, if you could tell just really quick the story you just told me today about the people related to Pele.
Yeah, so my oldest brother, he, I never knew this until this past weekend. He passed away from liver disease, from liver cancer, actually. And then when I spoke with my nephew, he said all these years they thought they were going to die. They didn't know how, because my brother never smoked, he never drank. And, he didn't have any multiple sex partners, right? But he passed away suddenly, and that was it. So I told them, you need to go and get checked for hepatitis B. And they had no idea to even get checked for that because they had no link. They couldn't connect the dots about how their father got liver cancer. The same thing with another girl in my church. They didn't know anything about about hepatitis B, but her father passed away from liver cancer due to hepatitis B. And so now I talked to her last night. She was a little teary-eyed And she said, if we only knew more about this, and if we only understood what to do, what resources to go to, and even what questions to ask my doctor, because they don't give it that information.
Right.
If you don't say anything to the doctor, he's not going to tell you. He doesn't know what to do to help, how to help you if you don't ask. So I think it's important that we get a little bit of education on how we can prevent this from spreading, and and we can be hepatitis B free. That is possible with all of the preventative care and the knowledge that we share, and also the resources that we have for our community. So all we have to do is just reach out and connect.
Get tested. Yeah, get tested.
Thank you very much, Richard and Lynn. Okay, just before we go and your final words, just a question to you, Richard. Since you're based out of San Francisco, how often do you go out to the public? So you wait for smaller communities like the Fijian community to reach out to you, then you go to them, or how does it work for you?
Yeah, great question. Well, we have amazing Lena. She was too nice earlier. She leads the charge, and what she does is she goes and looks everything for all these different kind of community events, whether it be churches, whether it be cultural celebrations, communities. We just looked at a kava bar that we're going to try to connect with and see if they'll do something. And so we try our best to reach to the community and then suggest, hey, can you give us, 10 minutes of your time, Mr. Kava bar owner, and maybe we can do something. And then we say, hey, we have a small budget for food. Maybe, Pele, we would say something like, let's have you bring all your radio listeners who are from the Bay Area, and we'll throw a giant barbecue. And then in that barbecue, we'll pay for it. And all you have to do is listen to us talk a little bit about Hep B. And we would hope you get tested at that barbecue. We'll bring out the phlebotomist, no insurance, no immigration status, nothing else. And we'll send you your results. So that's what we specialize in doing. And so we really hope also that on the other side, that we will get contacted. Let's say a listener knows you and says, hey, I just heard this Hep B thing. I have a church that's mostly, Fijian. Can they come there? And then you tell us, and then we go there. So it's all about this family working together so we can help each other.
Thank you very much, Richard. Okay. On behalf of Radio Bula Duavata, I think we are coming to the end of the program this afternoon. Last words, Lina, before we have a last word from Richard, and we'll close it off this afternoon.
Of me or Richard?
We'll start with you now.
Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you to Una, who connected us, and also thank you to you, Tupe, for translating and getting the information out in Fijian. It's very hard for us to connect with our our aunties and uncles and even our brothers and sisters that don't understand English too well. So by you translating and giving this information out into the community, that's very helpful for us. And we're looking forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you.
Richard?
I think just want you to take away one thing. Just go get tested. It can save your life. It can save your friend's life. We actually had a woman come back to us and say, I came to one of your booths and I heard you say something, and I kind of went home and I laughed and I told my brother, hey, you should get your family tested for this. And then the brother's brother got tested and had hepatitis B and then went to go see the doctor. So to me, that's one possible life saved. And so it's 5 minutes. A 5-minute call, a 5-minute blood draw can save your life, can save your brother's life. So just do it. I know it's annoying. Call your doctor. Come to one of us. Contact the radio to contact us so that we can come and do it for free. We're here for you. This is us for you. Save your life now. 5 minutes.
Once again, thank you so much, Richard and Lena, on behalf of the family. The large family of Radio Bula Duavata who's tuning in this afternoon. Would like to thank you once again for availing yourself on our weekly program. It's named Yavalata or Veitalanoa, that is sponsored by a very nice company, Lincoln Heritage. And we hope that you two will be available at another time, and Radio Bula Duavata is always open to you to come and, of course, make us aware about hepatitis B and the threats that it's doing, especially in our Pacifica community region.
Yes, sorry. I do wanted to say, if you have any questions, you can call us. We have a helpline
Okay.
at 415
415
336 2629. We have someone who mans it. You will likely have to leave a message because she can't be there all the time, but we respond to every single call. So if you need to know where you get tested, let's say you don't live in San Francisco, you want to ask another question about Hep B, just call us. We get back to every person who calls, even if you leave a message.
Thank you very much, Richard and Lina. We hope to talk to you again soon. Sa ko ya turang marama da rubu kinong lewa sa bobeken de rusa blu keruan na biniti da wobi na chuko be rau na itokani ro mai talno sar chuko mata to weekend na bugu ni mate enda kilabinaka na mate ni liva. Richard so executive director ni SF Hepatitis B Free pagkatalaki na be Lina Teo Malay Tulua dan marama di Samoa ro kata sar chuko baku koa da sarong wata chuko na keni talnoya koe baka meanga malu tu nga mai na mati ngo nana na ngono saranga se kuni te kenda ruchukina sarao ni pastegi kya na mati ngo ka beka nga ro bakan ti taka chuko bekenda o kenda menda sango le saranga ni dona polimbula se enda pole ka kina menda la ki testa ki rao saranga en ngau nongo wakan dua talent da bobi binaga na Lincoln Health and Life Insurance en buku no veitokoni chiko en ekabe de bing rabi en dai ya ser tarapa antan wakan ni binaga chukina ver to sar na bekanta rasema chukumai wakan lagi na be Richard Kelina Pinakabali usar na siya. This song is for you too.